Alright, YouTube, I don't usually make, by my standards anyway, early morning videos, but, I told you so. There's a reason why I cut off the stream last night early before Pennsylvania was called. And I did stay up till Pennsylvania's result came in, then I sort of conked out, because I knew Trump was going to win at that point. The fact that Michigan and Pennsylvania looked competitive meant he had won. And I needed to be well rested. I didn't want to have to sleep in till noon or something today just to make a bunch of videos. I'm all caffeinated yet again. This is victory lap day for me. It's gonna be great. But all the pundits were wrong, and your own favorite Styx Hexenhammer was right, along with Scott Adams was right. H.A. Goodman was right. It was the decentralized, non-legacy media that called this election. Even places like Fox, like as recently as 2014, most of the people on Fox, all they did was ramble about how wonderful the Republican Party was and how evil the Democrats were, and we've got to take the Senate, we've got to keep the House, we've got to regain the presidency. For the last year, all the fuckers have done is trash talk Donald Trump, who supposedly, according to like the people that are stacked up at Fox, should be like the next Messiah or something if you take some of his bombastic talk seriously. I'd like to reach out to those of you, I'm sure there are relatively few, who voted for Clinton or abstained because they just don't like Trump. Watch his victory speech. He's trying to be conciliatory, which, was likely to happen. And again, the pundits didn't even think that would happen. They were worried he was going to get up on stage and just start chanting, throw her in jail and lock her up or something like that, which isn't what happened. He's got his family around him. He delivers a perfectly normal victory speech. I don't even know if Clinton's conceded yet. She called and conceded, but has she even given an official concession speech? I'm not seeing it on YouTube. And of course, I have to rush this video out. I haven't been up that long. Which is why I'm chugging that. That's why I'm chugging this. Yeah, no. Oh no, the heart's stopping. But, yeah. I'm sure that there are people, including Trump fans, that thought that it was going to be full of shit, that he would lose, either because of rigging, lower turnout. Styx is full of shit, doesn't know what he's talking about. Oh, I had so many people tell me that when I was predicting that Pennsylvania would flip. Even most Trump fans didn't believe it, but of course it has narrowly flipped. My margins were almost completely correct. I did get Michigan wrong, kinda, sorta. It still hasn't been called by many of these firms, so I'm not even sure yet. I could be right or wrong, and it no longer matters. He's over 270. In fact, right now, if she wins all the remaining states, I believe the margin's 1 electoral point off my exact prediction, or 2 points. Very funny. But she has lost. Clinton will not be the president. No more Bushes, no more Clintons is the reigning ethos of the moment. We're back to the 1980s, hopefully in a good way, instead of let's perturb the Russians and start a nuclear war way. I don't care about the fact that the stocks are down and the currency's screwy. That's temporary. That's, the result of people saying, oh no, a Nazi is running the United States. Not a Nazi. Hell, he's more socially liberal than Clinton was. If you look back, I told people this. Okay, I'll give you further predictions, since I'm sure that there are probably some people here at this point who are going to take my prognostication seriously. And there's a reason that I'm so accurate. I'll go into all that. I've got 3 more videos lined up at least for this morning, so no worries. Donald Trump is not some far-right Tea Party warrior of God. He's barely religious, if at all. He doesn't care if you get an abortion. He doesn't care if you get a gay marriage. He doesn't care if you smoke weed. He's a money man. He's entirely focused on fiscal endeavors and foreign policy. And if he focuses just on these areas, he can lead the Republican Party into an era where it stops fretting about a bunch of retarded moral issues that it loses elections on, turn it back into the good guy party, as opposed to having 2 parties that are filled with a bunch of neocons, neolibs, and other assorted human trash. That includes, by the way, and I will say this, that includes people, evangelocons, like Mike Pence. There is a reason that I don't like him. Mike Pence is a so-called principled conservative. But I'm not a principled conservative. I'm extremely socially liberal. I am much more in favor of what Trump historically has said about these issues, which is he doesn't give a care. He doesn't care. He said that back in the 90s. All these people worried the sky's falling, Hitler's now in charge. Will you please listen to me now? After all of you discounted my prediction for months and months and told me Trump was at a loss, Trump is behind, the polls don't line up for him, he's got very little path to victory, he's got a 1 in 100 chance of winning, and now he's won. There is a reason that I'm correct here. There's a reason why the Nate Silvers and Larry Sabatows are wrong. They're math smart and people stupid. They need to hire people that understand the human element and especially the social media era element, because most of these people are at least in their 40s or 50s. They're not quite so keyed into these things. No, and again, sometimes my older viewers think I'm disrespecting them. I'm not. Some of you are very tech literate. Some of you probably outperform me very easily. Some of you probably do computer programming. But Nate Silver obviously doesn't. He plays with his algorithms. He plays with his numbers. He knows nothing about social media beyond that. Donald Trump, who's 70, knows more about Twitter and Facebook and YouTube and manipulating them for gain than Nate Silver ever will. Did anyone see Podesta's ramble last night? How mysterious that was. That even got some of the Trump fans nervous. They thought, oh shit, they're rigging the election in Michigan and Pennsylvania that haven't been called right now. Of course that wasn't happening. What actually happened is that Hillary Clinton almost certainly got very drunk. As soon as she started seeing the results from Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania, she probably opened the bottle and started chugging. She was in no condition to give a concession speech, let alone a phone call conceding the race. She was probably drunk when she called Trump, or at least hungover. So yeah, she was sauced last night. That's why they had Podesta come out on stage. She couldn't. She probably at that point was too drunk to walk. I don't even feel sorry for her. I'm genuinely happy that she's been defeated. If you listen to the way she talked about Syria and Iran and Russia and all these countries, she would have led us back to the McCarthy era plus some. It's far better to end up with a populist candidate who, okay, let's assume he doesn't actually care. He's just a corporatist in disguise who's gamed the system because he's really good at persuading people or something like that. Let's just assume that's the case. Still better than somebody who has spent months antagonizing a dozen foreign states and can no longer conduct diplomacy with them in a world as dangerous as this one, with this many nuclear weapons, with this many militant groups running around. So I'd just like to take credit for a righteous victory here, because even a lot of Trump fans said, well, I'm nervous. I don't think, this is so optimistic. And by the way, my projection was the conservative projection. I went conservative on my estimate of Trump's support because I had no specific evidence that the paradigm shift was large enough for him to win like Michigan or Wisconsin. I got Wisconsin wrong. I think I already also at last count got Colorado wrong. But I was correct about Pennsylvania flipping. I was correct on Florida, which a lot of people discounted, Ohio, North Carolina. Virginia, I ended up being correct on. It looked like I might have been wrong and Trump might have won it. At the last minute, Clinton won it by, I think, a little less than a point. So my map is arguably, I think, of people that have put their predictions out there before the day of. I'm pretty sure I'm the most accurate. So maybe people betting based on what I said are probably happy right now. People who bet based on Nate Silver, people who loaded up their bets in favor of Clinton months ago, have probably just lost untold millions collectively. It's rather funny. But yeah, Trump has won, and so have I, because I predicted this all along. Since South Carolina and Nevada, I said he was in an advantage, and if he made it to the general, which at the time I said was almost certain, by the time Super Tuesday rolled around, he was basically the presumptive nominee, or at least extremely likely to carry it. I said he's going to win the election almost certainly. Yeah, Clinton's not going to be able to deal with this crap. She doesn't understand what's going on. 3D chess is one way of putting it, in the words of Scott Adams, and he should get credit too. He's taken a huge amount of flack, a huge amount of heat for predicting throughout this election. I don't think that it rises quite to the level of Trump landslide, but he certainly won. He won the popular vote by, at last count, over 1 million votes. So the Democrats can't whine about, oh, well, he stole it in the Electoral College or something like that. He won the popular vote. He cracked the Rust Belt. The day before the election, it was obvious Clinton was panicking in the Rust Belt. It looks like she managed to probably lose Michigan in the mix, as well as Wisconsin. There you go. That's all he needed. That's why he won. And it does have to do with the occult, but I'll explain that in one of my other videos today. That's about all. Peace out.